going like, boss.
It wasn't that deep.
It wasn't that deep. And so, but that's what, and he couldn't even talk about it because he was taught that, no, men can wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
And so they're not allowed to explore their sexuality because they're taught what it's supposed to be. They're taught you get to this age, you're going to start liking girls, and this is what girls are there for and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Girls are ignored. That's why girls are not even talked about when it comes to masturbation or anything like that. So we get to explore and do a lot without that cloud of hanging. That's why you're talking about women cheat and no one finds out.
Yeah.
Because shoot right under your nose. And you're not even thinking it. Is Hannah. And people have accused women of guys, when someone can raise someone else's children right
for
in your
20 plus years.
In your house. In case you're just joining us and you're like, I advise that you go back to episode 10, which is part 1 of this 2-part episode where we're celebrating female friendships and relationships. Thanks for tuning in. But it's worked for us in some cases where then you're like, you know what, you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But also that whole thing because we don't talk about it. So you get to explore because you're going to have to figure it out yourself. You don't have anywhere where I know of guys where they tell me that they were gathered together and they were told this is how you get off. I'm just like, that is wild.
Okay.
It's wild.
It is.
But here's the thing. It's taking away your discovery.
Yeah.
You're discovering your sexuality and understanding how your autonomy works.
Yeah.
Because someone has told you
that is very
what to
weird.
do. It's very common. It is actually quite common. Yes, boys, quite common that boys teach each other how to masturbate. I know. It's just it's like
it's odd.
It's odd, and you're thinking that how, because the other boys thinking you're not gonna, but honestly, you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
You're gonna figure it out. That's the thing with natural things or things that take a natural progression like that. Somehow you figure it out.
Yeah.
No one tells you how to take a duty or what. If it's part of your body, you gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
But because they're taught that, that's taken away from them. But which leads me to the other part of, I feel though, in times past, I think it's better now. We as women and in friendships, we didn't talk about sex as much or sex ed. And then all of a sudden you're getting married and it's overload. And again, it's overload of people's own personal experiences of what their husbands want.
Yeah.
Never about what it means for you, whatever.
Yeah.
I was
rewatching Bridgerton season 1.
Yeah.
Daphne struggled because she didn't know anything.
And then the mom struggled even
harder.
harder.
Mom struggled even harder.
To try and explain to her.
And the mom still struggled with Francesca in the last season. The mom is still struggling.
I feel like Vaka try a picture.
She tried?
I feel like it was better than season 1.
Season 1 was terrible.
Because she said, no, definitely I let her down. But I'm going to try with you.
But it was describing a pinnacle took.
Spoiler alert. Sorry. Some people have not watched.
Sorry.
They're waiting for part 2.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Suspense
You too much.
So you know what? We then get an overload. I was at a kitchen party once because munhu ari kutaura mbasimuka zvikanzi mainini zvinorwadza asi munozongoshingirira munongoshingirira. And I'm thinking, I was so confused. And this person didn't even realize that where you pee from is not where you have sex from. And I know this sounds crazy, but we don't have any sex ed on that level.
Yeah.
Now with the internet,
people know.
Karen is like, how? I know people who went for months in their marriages where they don't even know what's going on. And sex ed is I think because we're like no sex before marriage. Yeah. So what then happens is people don't get educated about sex and you want to overload someone, but everything else in your life you've learned progressively.
Yeah.
You've learned to write progressive. So I'm not saying let 12-year-olds have sex. No. But the thing is, you've learned so many things in progression.
Yeah.
But there's certain things where it's just one day, and all of it is focused on your husband. We were even talking about it and some people are gonna find this like, oh, this issue, and some might not even know. I feel like most of our viewership are not gonna know what we're talking about when kuti munofana kugatsa zvinhu zvababa, chilo chababa, and it was like, what is it? There's some people even wondering, but why even mutilating your body for someone else? Like, that doesn't even make sense. And I think you mentioned something about like how the husbands of today don't even know that because they're the same age as us.
Yeah.
So where are they getting that from? So
And on that, I was taught about that back when I was 9.
Oh.
Yeah, so on my mom's side of the family, we used to go to Companionship and all that. So I had older cousins, obviously, the Mainis. One day, so we all used to go bathe Kuruizi, right?
I guess I can see why those conversations are easier to have kumamisha
Yeah.
than mutaun.
One day, little Mary is 9 years old. So my Mainini, she's busy there. I'm like, what's going on? So I'm curious. She's in a
Element.
frog pose position. I'm 9. So
I've
I'm
never seen anyone do
I'm
it.
curious.
Fortunately.
So I go and then I look and I was traumatized because I was like,
What are you doing?
What are you doing and what the heck is that? Because it was actually, and then she didn't say anything. That same day, my bless her soul, but Gogo is 90, she doesn't watch this. She calls me and she's bathing and she's like, Mary antu chada kurorwa. This is a conversation my grandmother is having with me at 9.
9.
That's
extreme sex ed. That's on steroids. It's you like we went from 0
to 100. You're 9 years old. I'm not thinking about marriage.
Yes.
I'm thinking about going kunotamba maflower. I'm not thinking about.
Yeah.
I remember saying no because I was a baby. I'm not thinking about marriage.
Yeah.
It's just like, so the theory with that is you should do it before you start going on your menses.
Oh yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah,
yes,
so
because
now,
apparently your flesh is still tender.
Yeah, so now they're telling me when I'm 9 because they're thinking maybe by the time she's 10, 11, 12, she would have started going on her menses.
Guys, it's tough being a woman.
Yeah, so I'm 9 years old and my grandmother is having this conversation, and I remember it very vividly. And I'm thinking, I remember just saying I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm a baby.
Yeah.
And then we had a maid at home. Someone goes on to tell the maid to teach me how to do it.
Oh gosh.
And mine, we used to call the maid Mainin. Bear in mind, I'm 9 years old, so this means I'm grade 4, grade 5.
Yeah.
She shows me how to do it, and then she actually touches my labia, and I'm just thinking,
We're going to pause for a second because this is actually a serious matter. Child sexual abuse manifests in different ways, as the infogram on the screen shows. And the bottom line is, a crime is a crime, and it is a crime to abuse children in any shape or form. If this happened to you when you were a child or to someone you know that it is not your fault. It is not their fault. We can put an end to this. We can put a stop to this. By having these conversations, we are taking a step towards bridging the knowledge gap on what sexual abuse looks like. Let's protect the future of our children for a better and brighter and safe tomorrow.
is this normal?
Yeah.
But anyways, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
As an adult, I think at some point I was thinking, why the heck was I being told to modify my body at 9?
For someone.
For a man.
Yeah.
And I'm only 9.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm being told to modify my...
Yeah.
And I remember this thing went on. I got to high school. Now the mbuyas are entering the chat. You should do this. You should... I'm like, I am not going to do that
Question.
to my body.
At any point, did you get actual sex ed?
No.
That's just...
No.
So
I was just told to modify my body for a man.
So can you see now how sometimes also we then have trauma with female friendships because and female relationships because this is how it's coming. This is how when you're older and you're watching Bridgerton and you see it happening with Lady Bridgerton and her kids and you're like, oh, she botched that. But we know better because you can have Auntie Google who will teach you and you can work through certain things. But if we didn't have to work through the trauma of recovering from that and having to... So I would say that an advice point would be for when women are in relationship, even with younger people, just what does that conversation look like? And what is actually sex ed? Sex ed is not teaching me how to modify my body. Sex ed is not, this is what you do to make sure. It's
someone else's
how
destination.
are you working through that? And just this past couple of weeks, I've been doing pieces on period, on menstrual cycle. There's just so much. I don't want to even make this episode long, but there's so much that I've come to learn about how a menstrual cycle is set up, that it mimics the 4 seasons of a year. And so in that cycle, you go through your winter, which is when you have your period, and then you go through spring. And you realize your energy is like, and then you go through summer, and certain tasks are easy at certain parts of the year. But apparently with men, they do it in a day. So, yes. So that's why they wake up. Yes, because they are ready. And then that energy is just, unfortunately, because of how their anatomy is set up and how they are taught to use energy, they expel it out versus internalizing energy and working through the seasons of their day. So we're all kind of forced to work on the seasonal day. Like we get up, we da-da-da-da-da, and then we sleep, we get up. But with women, it's a little bit different. So it's not to say you can't be productive every day, but it's going to be different. And analyzing and using that. And it was something that was celebrated back in the day. Before it was unclean. Before we had to put ma ped ma newspaper kunye madomas. So it used to be celebrated. And it was just, I remember when I started my period and I put sanitary away wrapped it and put it in the bin. And our housekeeper said to me, that better not be a sanitary ware that you put in there. And I was like, I was so afraid of her. I don't think I responded. But I wondered, so where was I supposed to put it? Because I had been taught when some lady from Johnson & Johnson came to the restroom toilet. And so now I was stuck. I'm like, do I put it under my bed? Where do I put it? And then she's like, she didn't offer me a solution. She just chastised me. And that was it. And I've had to work through how to dispose of sanitary ware. Fortunately for me, I now use a menstrual disc, which I don't then have to put anything into a bin. But I had to evolve the way I work through disposing of something that half of the world does and something that's so natural. Like, kana toilet ilipo pani toilet. Ino tana nsomberi kwekwe. Kuti pani ma toilet pano. But no one talks about a bodily function that brings life into this world. We are all here because our mothers had a period. All of us. There's no exception. Our mother had a menstrual cycle.
Men included.
Yes. And yet, you can't stand in front of and say the way you could say, man, jimbozi, jiriapo. That's important. Even going to a bathroom, that's another wild one, where you find condoms in a bathroom, but you're not going to find sanitary ware. Like, all of a sudden, someone is at a thing, and they're going to be like, whoop, we need condoms. I would think that whoop, I need tampons is more realistic and more current. But because it doesn't affect the status quo.
Yeah.
And I think some of these conversations are the ones that definitely I don't think some of them would want us to have, because we're then like, okay, how do we make it better? How do we move on from there? I'm curious though, where do you remember when you got your period, and were you able to have people around you to walk through with?
So I think, when did I get my period? I think I got my period when I was 12. So that would be Form 1. I was remembering Girls Eye. So obviously because you're at a Girls Eye.
Oh yeah, because your birthday is later in the year.
Yeah, because I went to school early. So because you're at a Girls Eye, the conversation has already happened.
Yeah.
They sit you down. So when it came, I wasn't really surprised or anything. But I think I had to guide myself through it. Like, how do I dispose of it? Which pads work better for me? It wasn't the best first period. Like, I don't know what happens with our parents. Like, they just don't talk to us. It's the same thing.
Because no one talks to them.
Yeah, there's that, there is that. So we give them grace. It's what you're saying about sex education, where you're just told no sex before marriage.
Yes.
Why? I want to know why.
And most of us arrived before they got married.
You know?
Like,
so I want to... Yeah, I arrived before they got married.
So
you're like, why? So I figured it out by myself, to be honest.
Been seeing people like celebrate. Americans, they've even started, they wrote a song where when someone has a period, kind of bringing back those old practices, because people used to celebrate and they'll be like, yeah.
I was excited when I got my first. I was excited. I was like, oh yay.
Yeah. And then
I'm a girl. I'm going on my period.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's something beautiful, but somehow you're shamed about it as well. You're like, okay, if it's something like, if it's a bar mitzvah type of thing, then why are we then falling on the other side and we're like, don't talk about it, it's dirty, it's this, is that. It's literally just blood and mucus. But yeah, speaking on that, and I think the last thing, because I mean, there's a lot of things that we could talk about when it comes to, we've touched on relationships relating to females, but also in relation to men. I will circle back and do more of an encouragement of just, in that celebration, because again, we're Pavali.
I've seen these videos on Instagram where men post videos where they say, my girl said she's on their period, and then he goes out, he does shopping, he buys. So I'm like, if you're watching this, I would like that too.
Yes.
But it's so cute, because my periods mess me up. Or in general, my body just, the 4 seasons really do come in 4 seasons.
And the thing is, we're trying to power up in a time where actually you're supposed to hibernate and let your body rest. Because guys, you are, there's this, in high school, we used to call it kurasamwana. Like, you're literally kurasamwana once a month. And so it's a process. And you've had to go through it the whole month, and it culminates in these 3-4 days. And so to act like it's nothing. There's even a reference. Someone was sharing about how in the Bible, they say women had to go out into the mountains and stuff like that. And people have always translated it to mean that because they were dirty, so they shouldn't make the camp. No, it was a spa. It was bay. It was like, Hans, you mean to tell me I can go hang out with a bunch of females, with my cycle sisters, and we're not cooking, we're not doing anything, and we're just vibing? But what you're seeing is how you view the world. And so you're like, okay, bakadzi vangu vanza vanokuchena, saka vaibudiswa out of the camp.
I once went to a church where if you're on your period, you were not allowed to go into church, because apparently you would noshibisa environment. Muyamchene hauzvidi zvemukadzi ari kumaperiod. I'm like,
chinogadzira tese takagara muno takagadzirwa
neichocho ndochisiri kuda. I never used to get it.
That's
I'm like,
a weird
what
God
do
that
you
people
mean?
Like I don't know.
What do you mean I'm not allowed to go to church because I'm on my period? Like, do you know, we would go to camps and there would actually be a section for girls who get on their period during the camp. I promise you. It was so bad they used to say back in the day, someone would even start speaking in tongues if there was someone who wasn't the period.
And then it was
move
a month.
Out.
Would I? Huh. Oh gosh. And I wouldn't be surprised that women would be the ones who'd be like walking you out.
They would be the ones who
shame. The trauma that
and for me it was also trauma. Like when you're at church and you're at camp, so it would be like, so everyone knows that girl is on her period.
Yeah.
Because now you're secluded.
And when it's done that way, it's different from an empowering way where you're like, you know what? The way we do it now. Like these days, if anyone asks me and I'm not feeling one, they're like, well, I'm like, yeah, I'm on my period. Yeah. It's no longer it's not a taboo. Yeah. But because it was shamed on you, it's a different way. It's like walk of shame, which end up kutende.
Like you're not even allowed to, if you're the daughter of a pastor in that family and then you get on your period, you're not allowed to cook for your dad. You're not allowed to use the same plates. It's because you're on your period.
Use the same plates. But you see, like what I'm saying, like they saw it as more of kushiba. Yeah. But it was designed to take care of you. You're in your winter, so no need for you to cook.
Yeah.
Rest up, honey. Put your feet up. But it was Wagashiba. So
someone was jealous.
Yes, so you're just getting 4 days.
Chilling.
Imagine girls sleep over 3-4 days. You're not, because have you ever, I know times where I've just spent time with feminine energy with women for like a couple of days on end, and there's just such a
nice.
And also someone was saying there's this guy, I don't know I forgot what he calls himself, but he's very much, he's got a lot of women friends, and he says the reason why he's like that, and I've got friends who are like that, he says women relationships are front facing. Women will go for coffee, they'll do things that are interactive. Men are side. So they'll banda kubora. Banda. So it's not engaging. And he says, and he's like, and I crave that. And I'll say, I then realized why, but there's this book that was written by this man and said, the needs of a man. And the second thing after sex that they put is, I need companionship. And I'm like, because you're starved. You're starved of these things. You want your wife to be doing all of this for you.
She can't.
When you need to be just having, when we exist in community, your wife can't be your end or be all. And so if you look at women or people who thrive in societies, they have good relationships. They are thriving. I'm not coming home and all of a sudden I want Ray to talk through every single little thing and everything. We've got a relationship where we can do front facing, we can do whatever we do, but I'm not has over. And even, if you've seen people, they become obsessive. And then now they're like,
I was telling my friend, labeling someone as your best friend, sometimes it feels like you want to put me in a box. Now, if I have other friends, you're getting jealous. Like, even the conversation.
But I think best friend is I think now how we use it is a bit more loose than how it was Kudara. Because it's not to say I don't have other best friends. It's, it's you could have like 2, 3. But I think because it was good, better, best, and best is just one. We're like, Hajite. I remember when I love to meet my best friends' best friends. Because sometimes I end up vibing with them. Because
I've done that. I got along with my best friend's best friend. Now I vibe more with her than
and we're all good together because the energy that attracted you guys is probably what attracted us to each other. And I think it's fine.
So you can have multiple best friends.
Yes. So it's we use it loosely, but I guess some people are like,
you're my best friend.
And anything happens to you, and then now you are attaching too much value and again outsourcing leadership, outsourcing emotion regulation from me that you then it's no longer a balanced friendship.
Yeah.
And that's what then tends to be draining, which I think also why sometimes then people have like a bad rep of sometimes with female relationships, because you're looking at it and you're like, I got exhausted because someone wasn't self-aware and wasn't self-caring for themselves. And so they outsource that from you enough times that it ends up being, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, again, we could go on forever. So we're going to go into our last bit that I wanted to talk about because we've talked about it's Valentine's and we talked about our period. Honestly, blood red, it blends. Red hearts, everything. Like
Red nails.
Red nails. I want to like look at love and look at Valentine's and reflect and think of, the beauty of women and the beauty of a period and everything like that. But there is something happening currently in Zim, and I just wanted to talk about it. Particularly because I know a huge chunk of our viewership is Christian. And they have their viewpoints. I do like that you are in medical in a certain way, like not in the typical way that people say, but I feel when you're to do with the physique, you understand the physical body if you're in a medical fraternity. So I don't know if you know, there have been an amendment to the abortion laws in Zimbabwe. And the ones that were there were from 2016. So this amendment was proposed by the Zimbabwe Law Association, women's particularly, and it passed to Parliament, kwasara ku Senate.
Yeah.
And so what's happening is the EFC wrote a letter to say, let's pray against the passing of the amendment of this law. So first thing is first is the moment people hear abortion, if someone has made it this far in this episode, they're like, sketchy, why are we talking about the A word? Do you, for some reason, do you know the current ones and the additional ones?
Nope.
Okay. So the current ones stipulate that you can get an abortion under certain conditions. Like if you have been raped, whether it's marital rape or just rape, you have some impediment that is making it a risk. But you need the magistrate to write a letter. Okay. You need signing off. If you are a minor, you need a signing of legal guardian. Now, what has happened is a lot of people end up not getting the care that they need because, like all of the things we've talked about, your mom is going to be like, no, nyangwe warepwa hazvina basa neni izvozvo. The amendment is coming in to take this red tape off so that you can actually you can get an abortion without the consent of a parent or the consent of a husband. A lot of women who are maritally raped have to still get a signing from their husband.
Who raped me?
Yes. And so, but it's like, but is he still your husband? So how does it even work? And so you still have to get his consent. And so in the letter it said, husbands are not going to know when their children are being aborted. There's a lot of things and a lot of emotion that went with me when I read that letter.
Yeah.
And I know when people hear certain things that we are accustomed to, we are thinking morality and stuff like that. Yeah. Honestly, I could say a lot about it, but I think the bottom line is society does not trust women, including other women.
Yeah, including women.
Because if there was a law that allowed me autonomy over my body, like why are we discussing legalities to do with my body and making decisions for me,
my body,
and not even consulting with me? Because as a human, your natural instinct is to survive.
Yeah.
And to continue the survival of our race.
Yeah.
And so my inclination is not to think pakapasa mutemo kwabhota takungonoabhota pano tichingotenderera tichienda. And so if you're not trusting that as this woman, as a younger woman, or whatever the case is, I'm logical enough to know if I'm having sex, and also because people haven't done sex ed. So you haven't taught people how to take care of themselves. You're just thinking, we say no sex before marriage. That's enough.
Yeah.
But we have babies left, right, and center. And so we're not going to talk about sex ed. And so we're rushing to put a plug in don't abort because we're thinking, vana vacha sexa before marriage and vacha aborta. But when I sexa before marriage, vakangwara, vaskuita, varu kushanza makondom. Vanenge vasina inyaya kuti havana kudzidziswa. And so you're trying to resolve something at a stage where it's beyond. It's something that's actually not affecting the morality of a society and the population of a society, and the insistence on policing women's bodies furthers our resistance to control. And so when you do that, and I then reckon that there is no law to protect me if something were to happen to me, I will further as a group. And that's why you find now more than ever less women are being duped into marriages. Because I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna find myself in a situation where I might end up having to get pregnant. And so tell you what, marriage because you don't trust me as a society. And so you're trying to solve that, and then you go around stomping your feet going like, but it's because you're not granting people autonomy. You're not meeting me as a person. People think but so when you behave that way and not trusting someone, they're going to be like, and you're just like, I don't want any of that life.
I'm just going to put myself first.
Child mortality, like childbearing mortality is high. People die giving birth. Because there's no research done. So you're like, you know what? Let me do what I can to protect myself, because this community I'm a part of is not going to protect me. When the time comes. Let me, and again, that's why we wear clothes, a lot of them. And we walk around with pepper sprays. We do all these things because we're like, let me protect myself. Because if something were to happen to me, it's going to be blamed on me. So I'm going to have shame. I'm going to have an unwanted child. And apparently it's to protect the vulnerable child. And me, I'm not vulnerable, apparently. Like, the vulnerable person who's alive. Now, I've miscarried. They didn't give me a birth certificate. I'm sorry, this sounds harsh. But they didn't give me a birth certificate for my baby. I have one. And so, if you're telling me that what came out of me is of more value than me, you're sending a message to me. You're sending a clear message to me that I am a childbearing machine.
You are a childbearing machine.
Can I still boncha happy birth certificate? I'm sorry to say. Antopiswa. But so for you to put value on at the expense, that's where my issue is, at the expense of a living being who most of the time can think for themselves and has survived this long to get to a place where they can conceive because they want to survive. They also want the same things that other people want. They want family, they want love, they want community. And so this weird fear that women are going to start using abortion as a birth control,
that's the fear.
Yes. Because, but statistically, actually, communities where abortion is legal has way less abortions. Because that community has a sense of, and this poliswa, and this manikidwa, and the society trusts me, and I know that I can get. So when you look at Planned Parenthood places, people, when we hear that word, TV, all we think is abortion. Planned Parenthood is where people get sex ed. This is where the places where, because our parents can't have these conversations with us, you can go and you're going to get help on sex education without judgment. You're going to get taught certain things. And so because of those centers, they've helped a lot of women have good sex education and therefore not finding themselves in situations where they end up. And it's when you get to a place where you're needing to abort, it's a tough one. It's traumatizing for you as well. So you're not just doing it
because the process
willy-nilly.
is painful. And you'd rather legalize abortion than the opposite, because now you save lives. because you not legalizing it is not going to stop us.
It's not going to stop
from not having the abortion.
It's not going to stop it.
But now the means people will have to go through are unsafe. And then now you lose both. The human being, the living human being, and
the one yodogwedzera ku number population
and sometimes it's not even a proper fetus, it's just a zygote.
Yes. And you're panicking, going like, tichapera.
Are you going to take care of that child at the end of the day? You're not.
No.
Those are some of the babies we're seeing begging in the streets.
No. And that's something my doctor actually said when I miscarried, and said what tends to happen with miscarriages, and on the legal form it writes pregnancy aborted, because it aborts itself. And so I remember when I saw it, I remember actually feeling a sense of shame. And shame comes from
the
society. And I remember thinking, I didn't even induce this, and I wondered why it was written like. And she had to explain to me, it's like, you know what, this fetus was probably not viable. And I looked back at the paperwork, and it actually wasn't viable. And my body was clever enough to go like, papa, pana, let's shut it down.
What people also don't know,
and that's 25% of the time, hey?
Yeah, and miscarriages are not only about us. It's men's sperm quality as well. And
more than actually us.
It's more sperm quality than us. And what I've realized is because there's no sex education and we are the childbearing machines, we are taught to take care of ourselves. We are taught to eat nutritious foods to keep. But some men, maybe some do. Some men actually pay attention to sperm quality and sperm health. But some actually don't know about this. They just think it's the woman, it's the woman, it's the woman. But what you eat, what you drink, if your sperm quality is not good, I'm probably going to miscarry. So it's always women.
It's true.
Women.
And paparagunzi women pacho kafutika. Haisi kutira iwewe futika. Inyaya kuti unge uri healthy kuti utakure mwana wani.
Wako. So can you please also take care of your sperm quality?
It's wild. It's not even just for you. Do you know something though? Can I share? Okay, this I know I said we're going to round up, but we're talking about this and it's so interesting, and I'd love to share. Did you know that a lot of civilizations, Kudara, believe that a woman did not contribute to a baby? So what do I mean? You see how seed goes into the ground and maize grows. It's not called soil maize. It's just maize. Because seed, dereji, maize. So that is how they thought babies came to be. They convinced us that. So that's why even in the Bible, reference is given to the seed of David. Because seed ake. Saka chatungo nida iveso yekukudza mwana. Only scientific research, well, from when people started doing discoveries and realizing that the DNA intertwines and everything, and actually the mom contributes the mitochondria, and that child is more mine than it is yours. And so now are people actually realizing, that is not the case. And then some societies thought the other way around. And societies like that are matriarchal. Societies like that thrive. A lot of them haven't been civilized with the modern civilization, but they work. They have such equality and do well because they thought women would just birth. Because a lot of those societies are not monogamous. So people have sex, whatever happens. Somehow vakazi vaingozongobuda vane pamuviri. So they didn't realize that they fertilized the egg within the women.
Oh gosh!
So because some of these societies were not monogamous, so at some point
they just thought
women would so they worship women because they just be like, they are giving life. They're just giving life. And so you see the juxtapose with societies like ours where someone is thinking, I always laugh with this whole thing. And I'm thinking, dear,
that's my boy.
Because nyaya iripo ndeyekuti imimi there's a chance yekuti handitombori baba vangu. Munhu andinatsoziva.
Ndimoms.
Munhu andinatsoziva. Munhu akandibara. And so for you, and I think it almost feels like an insecurity over compensation of where you're like, how are you telling someone that this person is not your child when they literally made them? I can't put it another way.
9 months is a long time.
I feel like they made this person from the time, and if you look at the size of sperm and to the size of, like, guys, I've seen, someone was telling me that someone was talking about teeth falling out, pregnancy. Someone's going blind, pregnancy. And you tell me
pregnancy is a sickness. It's like,
and you tell me that this person is not my child.
Pregnant women go through a lot.
It's such a beautiful thing, and to be able to and anytime I meet with someone who just had a baby or something that, or they're feeling away and they're not feeling too well and they're trying and they're like, oh, you know what, I'm feeling a little bit tired, but I'm like, you just birthed a human.
Yeah.
A human
with
being.
eyes and limbs, a head, a brain, like it's a whole human
We
being.
should give you 5 years, Chai, to be like, right.
Rest.
Because, like, we should be, when we even have parties, busy party,
Magaiba.
my contributor, human race.
Yeah.
But we've commonalized it, and I think in just celebrating women and celebrating female relationships, the more we see that value in each other and love on each other in that way, it'll be revolutionary.
Yeah.
This was so good. I know there's so much we could talk about and go on and on and on and on. But says very valley. Galentines, tatopedza my drinks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kazi.
You're welcome.
Was it okay for you as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was.
Happy Valentine.
Happy Galentine.
Galentines. Nice.
Msabi we pressure na blast we bosho.
But I feel like Zana Masan.
It's better, hey?
I actually feel like this Valentine's has been less read.
Yeah.
I think we kind of have gotten over. Do you know Zimbabwe nenya takatambura, guys, 20 years ago? Like, life was tough. Pakadzoka o cash flow. Ne life ka. Takaita excitement.
We're very lavish.
I think Valeka na ye 2 years ago, I remember thinking, this is hectic. Ndikatikana kwa America vaskuda isu. The consumerism, like town yange red. But this year I've actually been moving around and I'm like, do people know it's
very calm.
It's really calm. I think we've now calmed down. Yange excitement.
We're back in the mix.
Hii stakamboita vale. Yatakaenda manje na Raymond apa tiri kudata. No, ipapo yange courtship. Istakaita zvema courtship mukore yoyo.
Okay.
But it's okay. No, what I mean is taidipisa. We look back and we laugh at it. Like, but we're doing an episode for our anniversary and we're going to talk about these things where we were too serious.
So I was going to say, like, having a friendship where there's an age gap, I don't know the difference between courtship and dating.
So courtship yangeri church.
Okay.
Courtship was dating with the intention to marry.
Okay.
Zvaiva zvanzi maKristu hamudete.
Okay.
Saka maita with intention to marry.
To
Saka zvinhu zvese zvazvingori maimuta practice yemarriage. Except for the sex. Zvimwe zvese mupractice makutoshi mari ini chichichi, like you're focused, you're planning your goals. No shade, in a courtship.
Yeah, I think people are still doing it.
But in now, semuna marriage 12 years, akaita courtship 4 years. Sadipise guys, date, have fun. Like, go out. Like, if you're gonna get married, you're gonna get married. If you're vibing that way, you're gonna vibe that way.
Yeah.
Because spend so much time not living in the now, thinking about what's gonna happen in the future. And so we were so obsessed, like a lot of people were at that time, I don't know now, about the marriage that we didn't fully enjoy dating. We're too serious. So our first year of marriage was hectic because we were like, And that's where you find my couples vazoti kurei makusongovaona vakuita zvemuti vanhuboera if they make it.
Yeah.
Yes. And some who then divorce, the divorce effect. Have you been seeing those?
They go
posts?
back outside.
They go outside and they're doing the most. They're wearing clothes where you're like, hembe zasemuna 18
Yeah.
But they're trying to live that life that they didn't because they were taking life too seriously. And it wasn't really their fault because that's what we were just taught to do. Like, this is what you do. And so when we stopped taking things too seriously, it just evolved. So we went to Valentine's. Taka invite even my couples are in courtship. Saka pakuitwa my dancing. And I don't even know takaramzi dancer. So akanzi vari my courtship musa dance.
Sit down.
So now we're watching vaya vari kudanza chichichi. Then papambotaura nezve sex talk. Mbazvanzi imimi no takasiwa tirimo.
Okay.
But zvainzi musa hazvinei but tererai.
Okay.
Zvikanzi even kana makuita zvesex musa terere my Hillsong. Focus on each other, auntie.
Okay.
Kana mam bedroom. I'll never forget this Valentine's dinner. And the pastor said, I know some people watching this are going to know what church it says, but the pastor said, your knees are not for Jesus when he's in the bedroom.
Okay.
Your knees are for Jesus in the lounge.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And right now, like, what is going on?
Okay.
That Valentine's was wild. I remember thinking, amana ndikazoita Valentine's ndachata. Ndichavaudza kuti my knees.
They're not for Jesus in the bedroom.
Wow. Jesus achanogumira padhoo akaita sei. But that's how we just shamed sex. Where even we're like, please don't do it in front of Jesus, okay?
But apparently it's always there.
Yes, it doesn't make sense. You're like, God is everywhere.
I created this. Anyway.
Yes, and then you're like, we celebrate the marriage, but then you're like, So I was like, Then I feel like the narrative did change of this. This was 2010. Okay. This is a while ago. Yeah, I'm a valeta. Hey.
Magic.
Yeah. Mazana tinongoitawo gore iroro zviri kungoitikawo gore iroro rimwe gore not even. Last year we went to, it was a hectic time at work, so I booked this place in Eastern Highlands. I love the Eastern Highlands. And it was like a staycation.
Okay.
So in those places where we just stayed inside. And that's what I like about Eastern Highlands. So you sit, you watch the sunset, you just chill. And we both needed that. And so it was it last year or the year before that? But yeah, I do have some flowers, or they're not here. They usually stay here and they're dried. There's autumn looking flowers. I don't know where Ray put them. They're 2 years old.
Really?
Yeah, he got them 2 Valentines ago. And they dried so nicely. So I'm wondering how many Valentines are they going to make?
I'm wondering as well.
But
you should come back and update the people.
No, we will keep you posted. Mary, thank you.
Thank you too.
Many more years of friendship.
Amen.
Yes.
Hey, I'm so Zimbabwean. I literally say that.
Hallelujah. It's giving Zimbabwe. Thanks for watching, guys. 201 we do to subscribe. I like it.
Let me do it like a YouTube girly.
Yes, please.
Hey guys, welcome to Officially Nyashaà. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your people to tell your people. Mwah.
Yay! Wow!
It's a touch.
Yeah.
It's giving. What am I supposed to?
Okay. Hi.
Salt Bay does this.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, manager.
Slate. The thing is, I feel like when I know something, I know something.
You do things with confidence.
And then when I don't know something, I don't.
No, we fixed it.
I just thought we were sprinkling.
It's okay, I was on the same level.
That's so funny.
I'm single, by the way.
Cause
I'm not married.
Okay. Okay.
Single.